Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. How are you? Are you good? It's the, what is this, the 25th of March, 2017. Won't be on tomorrow. Got some things to do. And, just kind of step away for a few. Anyway, folks. Anywho, I got to get into some news here. I'm going to keep it light today, because I really don't, I don't know. Let's see where we go, shall we? Let's see where we go. You hear ringing in the background? Because I got my headphones on, and I'm hearing this little slight ringing. So let me ask you a question about technology. Now, we have the technology to do a lot, okay? And we do it quite well, don't we? But here's the thing. We have technology, but we're still working with archaic things. We're still doing things in an archaic manner, don't you think? Is it something that is the technology that you work with enough to get us over the hump, if you will? You figure that the technology that we have could be used for better things, right? Such as closing off the border or securing the border. Well, the border agents say, quote unquote, 100% positive. Even a partial wall can secure the border. Well, why are we spending millions of dollars building a wall when we have electronic surveillance? That's what I talk about. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about technology. Border agents patching holes in border fence left by illegal border crossers, quote, on a daily basis. Quote, a wall in strategic locations is absolutely necessary, unquote. The president of the National Border Patrol Council testified in a Senate hearing Wednesday. This is from Craig Bannister, Craig Bannister, CNS News, 24th March 2017. The NBPC President Brandon Judd told Democratic Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill that the border could be secure by placing walls at strategic points. Quote, as far as the wall goes, Senator McCaskill, while I agree with you 100%, we do not need a great wall over the United States. We do not need 2,000 miles of border wall. I will tell you, however, that a wall in strategic locations is absolutely necessary. Quote, the fencing that we currently have can be defeated. Anyone can come up to that fence with a welding torch and cut a hole in it. In fact, they have, unquote. This is going up on the Facebook page, American Liberty Radio Podcast. I'm going to say this once, and once only. Well, maybe not just once. I'm going to say it several times, probably over the course of these podcasts. Close the damn borders. I'm getting sick and tired of people yelling and screaming. And, well, we need a more comprehensive immigration policies. No, we don't. We need to close the damn border, period. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, strategically, it can be done. Strategically. Okay. So think about that one for a minute. Healthcare bill might get yanked from House floor. I think it already has. The whip team is still short on votes. This is from Jonathan Swan at Axios, 24th of March, 2017. The prospect of pulling the Obamacare replacement bill is now a matter of discussion among House leaders, according to sources familiar with the conversations. As House Speaker Paul Ryan heads to the White House to brief the president, multiple sources close to the leadership say the whip team is still short on votes and is pessimistic about bringing this home today. Some usually chatty aides in the White House and leadership didn't respond to questions about whether they were discussing pulling the bill. Our thought is, this is from Jonathan Swan at Axios, our thought bubble, what leadership keenly understands is that the bottom falls out on a vote like this. It's not like Trump will get a clear read on who is with him or who's against. Members that are currently in the yes column will not vote for a bill that is going down and will have the negative implications hung around their neck in the fall of 2018. If GOP leaders put the bill on the floor without the votes to win, it won't lose by a handful. It will lose badly. So anyway, this is how it works, folks. Excuse me. This is how it works in the halls of politics in Washington, D.C. If you say yes to something, chances are it'll be shot down in another committee. If you say no to something, it will probably be built up in another committee, but then shot down eventually because of some strange political reason. I can't decipher legalese from Washington, D.C., but I can tell you common sense-wise, we need to repeal the whole damn thing, okay? We need to repeal all health care, every bit of government-run health care. We need to repeal all of it. And we need to put it back in the hands of the states so that it can create, number one, jobs, number two, competition across state lines. Well, no, shut up. All you detractors out there that call me a conspiracy theorist, let me tell you what competition does. It drives down the costs of manufacturing and services along with those things you manufacture. Specifically in healthcare, instead of you paying $200 and some odd for a 30-day supply of medication, you'll probably be paying less than $100 with interstate healthcare coverage and all of that. What other people don't understand is that somebody may say to me, well, Big Pharma has to make their money. They have to research and develop. No, folks, no. Let me fill you in on something. Okay, let me just fill you in on something here. When Big Pharma has these organizations, these companies out there manufacturing the drugs that you take every day that are prescribed by your primary care physician, primary care provider, I should say, then the doctor doesn't make the money. Well, he gets, pennies on the dollar if he prescribes a certain amount of medication to you of one kind or another, depending. And it's all a commission for him. Basically, it's like, well, you salesmen out there know what I'm talking about. You sell enough ads, you sell enough, information to other people so that they can use you as their advertiser or their publishing company or whatever you may be involved with. You make a little bit here and there on those sales. Okay? Well, this is exactly what doctors do. They prescribe to you medication. Big Pharma fronts them. Says, hey, you sell enough of those, we'll give you a piece of the action. And because of a certain amount of, well, let's just say a certain amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? When the doctor does what Big Pharma tells, the doctor to do, then guess what? He gets a piece of the action. If he sells $1,000 worth of medication in a month, he gets a little piece of that. Now, when he doesn't sell it, but the pharmacy does. The pharmacy you go to, like at Target or Walmart or your local one there on your corner in your city, so they get the money. But the doctor gets a bit and a piece of it somewhere. So when you look at all this stuff, when you look at what's going on with the healthcare bill, the only option at this point, because the previous one was a complete and utter disaster, the only thing that you can do at this point is repeal all of it. Just tell government, get the hell out of my healthcare. You no longer need to be in it. And you push for the states to do what has to be done for not only the people of their states, but also for interstate competition to drive down these prices. You have to make some sort of concession to people, of course, because that's all part of it. But basically, you have to make sure that you and I, the general public, win in that situation. Now, of course, that's great theory, right? That's a great theory. That works on paper, as they say. In actuality, would it work? Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would. It would work. It would be perfect. It would be fantastic. It would work. But here's the problem. 2 words. Big Pharma. They don't want to give you cures. They don't want to give you anything that's going to make you better or well. They're going to only cover the symptoms of what you have. They're just, as I like to say, they're kind of calming down that whole system that is now, just running in overtime in your body. That's why you get fevers and stuff like that. You know what a fever is? The temperature, you take the thermometer and put it in various parts of your body, specifically your mouth. Do you know what that is? You know why you have a temperature? Because the body's fighting off that disorder that you have. It's fighting off that virus, that bacteria. That's why you have a fever. It doesn't mean you're sick. It means your body's fighting. When you take drugs that are manufactured from Big Pharma, what they're not plant-based, they're chemical-based. Therefore, what it does is it suppresses your body's natural ability to heal itself. That's why people are already going to natural, homeopathic products, because they work a hell of a lot better and cost a lot less. So, and that's why people are pushing for legalization of marijuana and legalization of cannabis oils and stuff like that, because it cures stuff. It cures you. You don't have to be sick 365 days a year. Okay? They need to repeal the healthcare bill and laws across the board and dump it all in the ocean. Let the states decide what they want to do, period. But what about the regulation? What about FDA? What about all that? No, shut up. Overregulation has caused suppression of innovation and in this country, and has cost us billions of dollars a year. So stop overregulating and just let people do what they have to do, period. Rand Paul takes victory lap on the GOP health bill. I just told you about that one bill Paul Ryan was putting through, right? They were going to go to committee today On the 25th of March 2017, The Hill is reporting, as Rand Paul said in a statement to The Hill, quote, "I applaud House conservatives for keeping their word to the American people," unquote. Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky, quickly declared victory on Friday, praising conservatives for, quote, "standing up against Obamacare Light." That's what Paul Ryan's bill was. Obamacare Light. Republican leaders pulled their bill to repeal and replace Obamacare on Friday afternoon, acknowledging that it was headed toward defeat. Paul, who has been a top antagonist on the House bill, added that, quote, "I look forward to passing full repeal of Obamacare in the very near future," unquote. Paul and other House conservatives have offered an alternative repeal bill that mirrors 2015 legislation cleared by Congress vetoed by then President Barack Obama. Put that on the Facebook page. Repeal all of it. Just get rid of all. Honestly, I don't think federal government should have any hand whatsoever in healthcare at all, ever. Okay, I really don't. But that's just me. I got to drink water, folks. I had like a cup and a half of coffee before coming into the studio, and my stomach is so twisted right now. Anyway, so repeal the healthcare bill. Just repeal it. Just get rid of it. Just throw it out the window and just throw it in the trash. I mean, there's two ways to look at this. You can either repeal it and get rid of it all and let the states decide, which is a better idea, or you can regroup, reset, and reconfigure the healthcare bill. And, go from there. And have it stall in committee after committee after committee, have Congress yell and scream about it, blah, 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 blah. You can do that. I mean, that's if you want. You can do that, of course. But, the optimum solution would be just to repeal the whole damn thing and let the states deal with it. Okay? I mean, that's, Now, some people would say, well, you don't want to do that because your state taxes would go up. And I thought to myself when I heard somebody say that, or when I remembered that concept that somebody mentioned, I thought to myself, well, of course your state taxes would go up. It has to be paid by something. But then again, I thought one other thing. Your state taxes don't have to go up. What goes up is that little thing on your paycheck stub that says state medical insurance or whatever the hell that is. I don't know what it is. It says state med, whatever. That right there should be enough to pay for all of it. Okay. Well, we have to have matching funds, and so we go to the, federal government and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Whatever. Repeal the whole damn thing and just go from there. Make it reasonable. See, I would rather now. Speaking of healthcare, I just saw this the other day, and somebody mentioned it yesterday as well, was the fact that some doctors are even going to this. You pay a fee every month. Yeah. Your primary care physician, you find a doctor, you like the guy or girl, whichever one. You like the man or a woman as your doctor. You pay not a fee, you pay like a, I don't know, you just pay him every month. It's like a club fee. It's one of those. It's, well, just pay me, $50 a month or $100 a month and, whatever, and I'll treat you. And if you got to go to the hospital, of course, you got insurance for that, but. So this is how the doctors are looking at things, and I believe that's a very good concept. I believe that I myself personally would rather do that than have to depend upon insurance. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you with the deductibles as high as they are, you know, how can you go into a doctor's office and spend $100, plop it down right there if you have to, right? How can you do that? You can't. I would rather take that $100 and pay a monthly fee, or maybe $50 or $25 or $30 or whatever it is, whatever the doctor decides, and just see him as many times as I want during a month, instead of having to go there 2 or 3 times and plopping down $200 to $300 a month. I'd rather, pay a one-time flat fee and go from there. It almost harkens back to the time when doctors did house calls. Remember back in the 19th or early 20th century, doctors would go to the house. Remember that? So there's things that can work, and there's differences that can be looked at and kind of sift through to see what would work in those differences. But I don't believe the government should ever be in healthcare. I really don't. What about welfare? That's a state issue. That's not a federal issue. Did you know that the states, for as many people that are on some type of medical subsidy, did you know that the state gets some kickback from the federal government, from Washington, D.C.? Did you know that? Yeah, so that's why they can do certain things. If you're on, I know I'm probably talking to the choir here, but if you're on some sort of government assistance for medical, you have your card, you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, you just give them the card, blah, blah, blah. Some of the office visits, you don't have to pay anything. But you go to the hospital or whatever, and it's all paid for. That's because that hospital is getting, they're getting some money from the federal government. The state kicks in, pays some of the bill. The federal government comes in, pays the other bill. That's how you get it for free. Somebody else is paying for it. You know what I mean? Some other taxpayer is forking out their hard-earned dollar for you to get that subsidy. So it's free to you because you don't have to pay it, but somebody else is paying it. And that's why I believe that it should just go to that, hey, pay me $50, have a doctor, pay me $50 a month. I got 20 clients, 20 patients to see, whatever, and so, or more than that. I'm sure they have more than that. But why not? You got an office visit, just, you just walk in. You've already paid your monthly, fee, and there you go. Or I don't want to call it a fee. It's like a membership. It's that kind of thing, that kind of concept, So I like that idea, So I don't know. So anyway, what about you? Go to American Liberty Radio Podcasts on Facebook. Go check that out. I like Rand Paul. I really do. Sorry, folks. My goodness. Didn't want to yawn on air. I probably did anyway. Amnesty advocates claim ICE raids, quote, retaliation, unquote, against sanctuary cities. I mentioned that yesterday. 7 sanctuary cities hold 10% of the illegal immigrant population. Well, let's go take a look, shall we? Let's take a look. There's so many things that we can say about immigration, but one is close the damn border. Clifford Cunningham contributed to Infowars.com. Recent raids targeting illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities are a concerted effort to bully those localities to change their policy of not cooperating with ICE, according to an anonymous immigration official who spoke to CNN. Okay, I mentioned that yesterday. But you can go look it up on American Liberty Radio Podcasts. Okay. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of talk about YouTube in their restricted mode, Paul Joseph Watson over at Infowars.com said, asked the question, my last ever YouTube video? The establishment media is pressuring YouTube to censor Alex Jones and Paul Joseph Watson because they are, as the established media says, quote unquote, extremists. They're not. Okay? They're not. Anybody that says that Alex Jones is not right or whatever, there's always going to be contention. Always going to be contention. Somebody is always going to think that they're smarter than somebody else. They're always going to think that their information is correct. That all this, and they're going to try to, and basically their goal is, they're going to try to shut somebody else down because they don't agree with them. And it's not the narrative that should be out there. Well, guess what? Hey, snowflakes. Millennials, shut your damn mouth. Get an education, learn what's going on, and then you can open your mouth and we'll discuss things. If not, just keep it shut because every time you open your mouth, you look like an ass. Okay? Just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I used to be, the type of person that said, let's do this, let's do that, let's, open the borders and let people in, I used to be that way. And that was back in the early to mid 90s. I used to be that way. I used to be, let's help as many people out as we can, but then let's be reasonable about it. And probably somewhere about after September 11, 2001, I went, no, we can't do this. Because I started looking into the principles of multiculturalism and all of that, and guess what I found? Multiculturalism basically is I don't want to call it a philosophy, but the basic principle of multiculturalism is to overwhelm the system, which is basically the principles that Cloward and Piven talked about. Okay? That overwhelm the system. Go look that up. Cloward and Piven's strategy. Go look that up. I've spent too many days, too many years, too many months, too many hours researching this stuff over the last 30 some odd years to sit here and just, BS you like the propagandist media and that you listen to every single day. No, I got it in front of me. I got it in my memory. I know what I saw. I know how it works. I know these people. These people are sociopaths, borderline psychopaths. They want to collapse the United States of America and grow it into this dark, decrepit, evil system, a third world country, if you will. But a lot worse because we have the power and the technology to wipe out anybody else on the planet. Well, except for China and Russia because they've got the same technology as well. So somebody in this chess game is not going to have a really good day at the end of it all. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, man. I don't know about you folks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I will be back. I'll be back in a minute 38. Don't go away. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com and American Liberty Radio on Gab.ai.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea. A new world order where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Smashing through the lies of the mainstream media, tearing down the walls of misinformation.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Shattering the foundations of the new world order.
To bring China into the creation of a new world order.
The truth, the facts, no bullshit.
In this new world, such dangerous currents have swept along faster than our efforts to contain them. And that is why we cannot afford to be divided.
The American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
For more information, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com or email them at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Hey folks, how you doing? This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Yeah, folks. How y'all doing? How you all doing? What's going on there, man? Hey, I do voiceover work, so hire me, because, you know, I need a job. Yeah. You can email me here at American Liberty Radio Network if you'd like. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Mark this down as an alternative email address. New West Radio Theater at USA.com. New West Radio Theater at USA.com. Put in the subject line voiceover so I know you heard this. Thank you very much. This is the 25th of March, 2017, and you're listening to the American Liberty Radio Network podcast right here on Spreaker.com, and if you can find me on iTunes, awesome. Yeah, folks. So, yeah, go check out a friend of mine, Mr. Tom Slick, over at Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz. Yeah, if you're an independent author, an independent filmmaker, independent musician, that's the place for you. Tom Slick at the Morning Brew plays all the hits from around the world from all the independent artists that are out there. You can be one of them. check it out. Mr. Tom Slick at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to their website at 926theblitz.rocks. 926theblitz.rocks. There you go, folks. Hey, if you that was just a promo for that, So promos are free around here. So if you got some promos you need to send my way to let everybody know what you're up to, hey, great, awesome, fantastic. But if you are selling something, that would be advertising, folks, and that's a win-win situation for both of us. I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so if you want to advertise on American Liberty Radio Network, please consider it, because, I got to keep the lights on around here in some way, shape, or form. The door has to stay open, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, or go to the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there, and that would be AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. And if you don't want to sponsor and just want to donate, there you go. There's a Patreon link right there. Become a patron. It's only $1, folks. Just click on that Patreon link there and drop $1 in the kitty. Or as much as you wish. That would be good. If you want to advertise, please contact me at American Liberty Radio Network at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Put in the subject line advertising so I know you heard this. Thank you very much. Onward and upward to bigger and better things, folks. Well, I don't know if it's better. I just know I'm going to move on. Oh, my God. Folks, I've said it before, there's always going to be contention. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like you. I don't care who it is. They can come up to you and have this really nice face and be right at, yes, you're fine, and then walk away and go, what a freaking idiot. They'll talk about you behind your back. You know that, and you know people that do that to you. So, Lawrence O'Donnell. Yes. Calls Trump the laziest, most ignorant president. Quote, the president is saying to you on the front page of the New York Times tomorrow, quote, I quit and I quit in the Senate, unquote. Never one to miss a chance to slam President Donald Trump. Lawrence O'Donnell, the host of The Last Word, a weeknight program on MSNBC, called the Republican occupant of the White House, quote, the laziest, most ignorant president in history, unquote. Of course, he had an entirely different opinion of former Democratic President Barack Obama, who, quote, never once said something like this in the crusade to get that thing passed because he knew how to stay with it and get it passed, unquote. The liberal host, I'm not surprised, the liberal host began the discussion by criticizing the American Health Care Act, the House GOP bill intended to replace Obamacare, and the differing opinions on the bill held by the president and the Republicans, who have a majority of members in the Senate and the House of Representatives. O'Donnell stated, quote, that's why this is so devastating. If you are a House Republican and this is a tough vote for you, the president is saying to you on the front page of New York Times tomorrow, I quit and I quit in the Senate, unquote. Quote, I don't have the patience or the ability to stay focused on this and get it through the Senate, which is much harder than getting it through the House, unquote. Panelist Stephen Brill, an American lawyer and journalist who wrote a book on healthcare entitled America's Bitter Pill, responded, quote, I agree with you, but let's put one thing in perspective, unquote. Brill said, quote, as someone who watched Obamacare, it took 15 months. It was dead at least 10 different times. Even if it doesn't pass tomorrow, they could do something else, and they could come back to it. They might, unquote. It says read more down at the bottom of that, but I'm going to copy and paste that into American Liberty Radio podcast for you folks to go check out. Hey, I understand that a lot of people don't like, talk radio, but, if it wasn't for talk radio from many, 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 many years ago, I don't think we would be as informed as we are now. And that's what American Liberty Radio Network does. We inform you. I hope that I'm educating you in some way, shape, or form, but I know I'm informing you of stuff going on. Now, of course, I have another show on here, not me, but there's another show on the network called Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. And you got to listen to that, folks, because everything, I'm usually on that show, mostly all the time, and we have a discussion about things from, you name it, from politics to, the alien agenda. We talk about NASA, we talk about Bilderberg, and it's a discussion and a conversation. So we're informing you of what is going on around the world, around the nation, and around your block. So we understand what's going on. So Nick Tucker, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network, or go check out his podcast as well at distortedreality.podbean.com, and check that out as well. But he's also here on American Liberty Radio Network. This network informs, and we hope to educate. We hope to enlighten and integrate our talent into getting the information out to you. If you appreciate that, thank you. Thumbs up, virtual high five to all of you. Please like, subscribe, and share, because I do go on YouTube. This show is on YouTube, so like, subscribe, and share. That would be great. But if you like what you hear, and I know talk radio at certain points, especially MSNBC, can be boring as hell. I understand this. I know this. I got into this because I wanted to inform people and let them know what's going on. But I also know the other side of that coin, that is, it can get very boring, okay? And one thing that I'm going to guarantee you this right now, American Liberty Radio Network, myself, Wayne S. Pierce, guarantee to you that we are not NPR and we're not going to bore the crap out of you, all right? We're not going to do that. So, it is what it is. There is no limit as to the information that is out there. The only limit that there is to that information is your desire to want it. That's what can I say to that? So anyway, we hope to enlighten and educate and inform you of what is going on. So check out Mr. Nick Tucker at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker, also on Facebook, and go look for him at Distorted Reality NT, I believe it is, Nick Tucker, his name, at Distorted Reality NT on gab.ai. And I'm on there too at American Liberty Radio. Gab.ai is basically what Facebook was in the beginning, but Gab.ai is freedom of speech, freedom of just talk about anything. There's a list on the left-hand side that shows you got news, politics, whatever. I mean, it's there. And if you like, if you like American Liberty Radio Network, please drop $1 in the kitty on Patreon. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. You'll see that little link that says Patreon. Drop $1 or $2 in there, or however much you feel is best. And yeah. Yes, go to gab.ai and let me find that for you, for Nick Tucker. And yes, Nick Tucker. That's Nick Tucker at Distorted Reality NT. He says, I have a podcast at distortedreality.podbean.com. I talk about the New World Order, Bilderberg, chemtrails, occult, and more. I broadcast from Las Vegas, Nevada. So on the left-hand side of that gab.ai page, when you open it up, it shows politics, technology, art, sports, AMA, philosophy, faith, finances, photography. It's got everything there, folks. So whatever is to your liking, gab.ai has it for you. And there's, TV, there's popular, what is popular. So there's a lot that is there. So there you go. Also, and I'd like to say this, every so often, I'm going to try to schedule a little bit better, but every so often as of now, I will try to get the Truth Experience live up once a week. I've been dealing with some other things, so I'm not able to do that at this point. But hey, I got some upgrades, some remodeling going on around here at the studio, so that's one of the reasons why I haven't, been able to get the Truth Experience live up on a weekly basis. But that's coming soon. So the Truth Experience, basically, hands down, I would believe, and I'm being biased, I know, but I would think that the Truth Experience is something that you would want to experience because you want the truth. Shall I say any more than that? Because I think I just summed it up very concisely. Okay? So that's another program that's on the American Liberty Radio Network. So, and I host that show as well. But again, I'm trying to bring it up once a week, and I keep saying on a Monday, it's like, I'm going to do the show on a Friday or a Thursday or whatever, and then something happens and I'm not able to do it. So, I don't know. So, it will be up at some point. So, I'm not going to guarantee what day it is or when it's coming, but it is coming. So, the Truth Experience... And you can go to thetruthexperience.weebly.com for more information. I will keep you abreast during these podcasts that I put up and all of that when I've gotten that a little tighter in scheduling, and we'll go from there. Again, folks, if you like American Liberty Radio Network, please consider contributing to it in one way, shape, or form. Hey, even if you like and share it, that's cool, okay? But, I can't keep the light. I cannot keep the lights on around here if I don't, if I don't have the resources to do so. Just much like you can't buy food for your refrigerator and your family if you don't have the funds to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically, that's what it is. So anywho, folks, if you want to contribute, please go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. And go to the sponsors page. I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so consider sponsoring your goods and services on the network. And I can cut so many deals, it'll make your head spin, and you'll be saying, why am I putting advertising on TV and the radio here? And why don't I just go to American Liberty Radio Network? I mean, it's local. I got 80% of my listeners, or at least the plays that I get for the podcast and the live show here, are from people from this city I'm in, Billings, Montana. So if you're in Billings, Montana, please consider contributing to American Liberty Radio Network with advertising, because that's a win-win situation for you and I. You know what I'm saying? So I like to win. Okay? I like to win. You know what I mean? So, and I'm pretty sure you do too. So anyway, consider it. Just think about it. Contact me at American Liberty Radio at USA.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com, and just put in the subject line, advertising, so I know you heard this. If you don't want to do that, there's a Patreon link there. Patreon, you've heard of them, right? It's $1, folks. Just drop $1 or however much you feel is this show is worth into that kitty, and thank you. So I appreciate that very much. So anyway, questions, concerns, comments, whatever you want to tell me. Hey, you want to tell me to piss off? You can do that too. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. There you go. So, anywho, let's get on with the show, shall we? Let's go with, I'm going to go here. I usually go to Infowars.com. That is the go-to site that I have. But let's go to RT.com, run by the Russian government. Let's go check them out. Yes, they are run by the Russian government, if you didn't know that by now. Wow. Okay. Looks like I'm going to have to translate the page. Okay. Let's see here. Let me try to find an article here. U.S. confirms airstrike at site in Mosul, where dozens of civilian casualties were reported. No hard evidence. That's in quotes. Entire Gulen movement behind Turkey coup. Only some members. Hamas blames Israel for senior member assassination, threats to act is in quotes. Quote, without Senjin, we would be less protected from terror, unquote, Swiss minister has said. What the truck? U.S. president looks like something from Mad Max in hashtag Trump truck meme. Yeah, did you see that? I don't think he knows how to drive one. I'm just saying. Several dozen arrests at unauthorized opposition protest in Minsk. So, wait a minute. Unauthorized opposition protest. Excuse me? I'm just saying. Suspected ISIS fighters attacked refugees, quote, safe haven, unquote, outside Mosul. DEA approves synthetic marijuana for big pharma company against legalization. What? Excuse me? Whoa. DEA approves synthetic marijuana for big pharma company against legalization. I believe that marijuana should be legalized across the country. I believe that cannabis oil should be legalized. I believe that big pharma needs to get the hell out of our healthcare system. And drug manufacturing. Big pharma and their companies that are associated with them manufacture the drugs, much like your drug dealer does in their house, on their street, in your town. Okay? A synthetic marijuana product could be available for commercialization after the DEA, that's another organization that needs to go in the toilet, gave a newly approved drug a Schedule II classification on Thursday. Insys Therapeutics announced that the Drug Enforcement Administration issued an interim final rule that would put Syndrus, their synthetic marijuana drug, on Schedule II of the Controlled Substance Act. Quote, Insys is looking forward to bringing new drug product to chemotherapy patients to help alleviate their nausea and vomiting, and AIDS patients with anorexia associated with weight loss, respectively, Dr. Santosh Vedakandan, interim CEO, said in the announcement. Now, that's interesting, folks. Not so much that it's for the cancer patients, which, of course, yeah, it alleviates a whole lot of stuff, right? That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is it's synthetic. It's manufactured. Do you know what synthetic stuff is? Yeah. It's not, yeah. No. Legalize marijuana and just go from there. 4,000-year-old tomb discovery sheds new light on lives of Egyptian noblemen. That's kind of cool. Conspiracy that Trump, Putin, and everyone in the universe is in cahoots starts to fall apart. Well, let's go take a look at that one, shall we? This is published today, 25th of March, 2017. Public opinion in the U.S. is changing as a lot of Americans, especially those who supported Trump, see what somebody has called, quote, Trump derangement syndrome beginning to merge with Putin derangement syndrome, unquote, said former U.S. diplomat Jim Jatras. Earlier this week, the FBI confirmed it's investigating alleged collusion between Donald Trump's presidential campaign team and the Russian government to influence the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. By the way, the FBI is already, some people in the FBI, the higher-ups, and some other people and some other organizations there in Washington, D.C. have already said, at the end of the day, there was no collusion. Okay, it's all false reporting. It's all just, it's a bunch of crap. It never happened. There was no collusion. There was no connection. There was no intimidation. There was nothing. There was no connection whatsoever with the Trump campaign through the Putin government. None. Zip, zero, zilch. So shut up about it already. Jesus criminy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Kremlin warns Navalny supporters against unsanctioned rally. Russia insists on fully fledged PACE participation, says Senator. Russian Senate Speaker blames West-induced confrontation for Europe's security crisis. Yeah, idiot people are all over the place, folks. Russia insists on fully fledged PACE participation. The senator, let's see who said this. Let's go here. If Russia's powers in PACE are not restored in full, Moscow may resign its membership in the Council of Europe, according to Deputy Head of the Upper House's International Relations Committee. Quote, we have outlined our position at the recent session of PACE's Permanent Committee in Madrid. It is absolutely obvious, and it is that the situation in which Russia remains a member of the Council of Europe but takes no part in the works of its parliamentary assembly is absolutely absurd. Vladimir Lukin was quoted as saying by RIA Novosti, quote, this is like being a little pregnant. This situation must be corrected, unquote. The senator also said that if PACE fails to return the Russian delegation its full rights in all spheres of decision-making in the nearest future, Russia would face, quote, a very serious dilemma, unquote. Either quit the Council of Europe altogether or tell its partners that such situations cannot last any longer. So there you go. That's going up there on the, that's a long article, folks. That's going up on the American Liberty Radio podcast page on Facebook. Yeah, folks, can you tell I'm frustrated? Can you tell? Oh, folks, we have the most powerful country in the world, toilet deep in bullcrap, because other people, namely Democratic Socialists and Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton supporters, want a completely communistic society in America. That's what we have here, folks. We have people divided on political ideology and what's right for this country. What is right for this country? Peace, liberty, freedom, and security for this country. Peace, freedom, liberty, and security. Period. End of sentence. Done. Close the damn borders. Tell these yahoos, these Democratic Socialists, these Sanders Clinton supporters, these people that want to destroy this country to get the hell out, because there's other countries that align with their political ideologies. Bye. There's the border. I hope it hits you in the ass on the way out. That's just the way it is. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay? Well, they have a right to free speech too, and they're pissed and they want to... Shut up. I don't want to shut down their free speech. I want them to stop being so, how can I put this? Intimidating, if you will. They don't intimidate me. Bullying. Stop their bullying tactics. Shut the hell up. Pack their crap and get the hell out of the country. That's what I want. And I'm out of here, folks. I'm out of here. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.